Happy fall. It's officially fall. And I'm continuing my Road to 30 series. So I explained to y'all again that I left YouTube for a little while due to some unfortunate events, and I've been using this series to kind of explain why. So if you're new here, my name is Miller the Wanderlust. I vlog daily life. I also do travel vlogs. I talk about my weight loss surgery, VSG. Also, I've had a tummy tuck, upper body lift, and gallbladder removal surgery. So there's the lifestyle, like meal prepping, juicing, trying to maintain my weight, etc. If you like what you see, like, comment, share, subscribe. I would love for you to join me. If you didn't see the last couple videos, again, I explained that I was gone from YouTube for a little while because of some unfortunate events, and then I'm kind of like giving some stories leading up to, that will explain or lead up to how I ended up there. So I first talked about what my life goals were, like what I wanted to be accomplished before 30, and I gave 5 goals. And I talked about the first goal last week, which was being in shape. And the goal for this week is being in my career of choice. I have notes, so I'll be looking down. So, being in my career of choice has been a road. So, I am the second oldest of 6 children, and my mom was a single mom. So, 2 of those children were given up for adoption, and I will talk more about that, you know, later on my YouTube channel. But we always had what we needed, but we didn't always have what we wanted, because my mom was a single mom of 4 of us were living in the house. And then, anyways, so I've had a job since I was 16 years old. My very first job, I was 16 years old. It was at Six Flags Over Georgia. And I was already 18 or 17. No, what the hell? I just said I was 16. I was 16 when I started working there, but from there I always had a job. I was going to say I didn't graduate until I was 18 years old. But I was in high school at 18, still in school, and I would go to school, and then I would get off from school and have a couple of hours to decompress, and then I would go work at Kmart. And I did that so that I could buy the things that I wanted. Like, I wanted my hair done a certain way, I wanted nails, I wanted the cool clothes, or the clothes that I thought were cool at the time. And again, my mom was able to provide what I needed, but not exactly what I wanted. So I worked so that I would have what I wanted. So at 18, when I did graduate, I was already in the work field, so I really had no idea like what I really wanted to do. I said that I wanted to go to school to be a dental hygienist. And I went to college straight out of high school. Like, you know, after the summer I went to college, and I was not prepared financially. I was living with my grandma. I was taking the bus to school. It was far from my house on the bus, and I didn't have a car, and it was just very stressful. And I remember failing every single class that semester except for public speaking. And then it suddenly kind of like dawned on me that I am squeamish as it relates to spit. So I was like, dang, I want to be a dental hygienist and I can't deal with spit. So then I was like, well, I don't want to be a dental hygienist anymore, but I didn't know what I wanted to do at all. So I was just working. I've worked at Walmart, I've worked at Kroger, I've worked at Walgreens. I was working at jobs like that. I don't really feel like I got a real job until I left Georgia and I moved to South Carolina. And I was still just working at a call center for DirecTV, but it was like a real job. It was not like retail. So fast forward to me being like 25, still, you know, working call center, that kind of thing. I had transitioned into working at hotels, because at one point I was working at the IHG call center, and that's the Intercontinental Hotel Group, and they their brand covers like Holiday Inns, Crown Plaza, Intercontinental, a couple other what's that hotel? Even Hotels. There's a couple others. But anyways, my father was not super involved in my life when I was young, and we were trying to repair our relationship. So he said to me, I would like you to come visit me in Virginia Beach while I'm there, because he was traveling a lot for work. So I said, okay, that'll be fine. He told me he would pay for my flight, and he did. But the Charleston airport is a smaller airport, and it only flies to like hub cities, and then from the hubs you can get to your connection. So when I went to Virginia, he got me a ticket on Delta, and I went from Charleston to LaGuardia, and then LaGuardia to Norfolk, Virginia. And when I was in LaGuardia, you know, looking out of LaGuardia, I could see the city of New York. I remember I bought a baseball keychain. It was just like a good time, even though I didn't leave the airport. Well, on the way back home, I had a 5-hour layover in Atlanta. I went Norfolk to Atlanta, Atlanta to Charleston. And because I had a 5-hour layover, I did leave the airport. I left the airport, I got on the train, and if you've been on the train system in Atlanta, you know that airport station is an actual MARTA station, and the next station up is College Park. So I got on the train and I went to College Park, and I went and had lunch with my best friend. And then I got back on the train and came back and went back through security and got on my flight and went home. And when I got home, I was like, oh my God, that was so much fun. Like, it's crazy to me that I was just in Atlanta this morning and now I'm home. Like, how can I do that every single day? If I could do something like that every single day where I'm just in different cities, I would love that. So I started researching careers that would allow you to do that. And of course I saw I think I saw travel agent, pilots, and then eventually I came across flight attendant. So I am in the airline industry currently, and I did start out wanting to be a flight attendant. I posted a video here about how I interviewed to be a flight attendant multiple times and I did not get it. I just think I'm not that nice, and my personality is not like the average flight attendant. But I was interviewing, I was researching, I was watching all the flight attendants on YouTube. I actually still watch them, and I was just not getting it. And so I continued to work at hotels, at call centers, and then I don't remember what made me look this up, but I know at the time I was an assistant manager at Planet Fitness. Random, I know. And I saw that there was a company hiring to be a customer service agent at the airport. So I said to my mom, well, you know what, I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'm gonna apply because I think it'll motivate me, you know, to want to be a flight attendant again, because I had got discouraged, and I could maybe talk to some flight attendants and some pilots and figure out a way to become a flight attendant while I'm working at the airport. So I had no idea once again to expect, but I ended up being a ticket counter / gate agent, and I actually ended up enjoying it, and I was a ticket counter and gate agent for like 2 years. And I started in June of 2018, and I went to training, like in-person training in Chicago. I had never been to Chicago. I was there for 3 weeks, and in the middle of those 3 weeks, it was my birthday weekend, so I used my flight benefits to non-rev, which means flying on your benefits, to LA. I had never been to California, never been to LA, and it was just like the dopest experience. And so after the training, I did go back to the operation, and I ended up being promoted to a lead that November, and I stayed a lead, eventually became a supervisor all the way up until June of 2020. But what I realized when I was in training was, okay, I'm just here in Chicago for this 3-week training class, but these trainers do this all the time. Like, they are traveling all over the world to train these agents. And I thought, duh, that's it. That's what I want to do. So I tried to get every kind of certification that I could get while I was in the operation, because the more certifications you had, the better chance you had at becoming a trainer. So for the Super Bowl in 2020, it was in Miami, and I think the 49ers were playing the Chiefs, I think. My airline had nonstop flights from San Francisco to Miami for the Super Bowl. So they asked, do you want to work the Super Bowl? Because it's going to be, you know, an influx of people, so you can come down to Miami and work the Super Bowl. So I went to Miami, had a great time working and partying for the Super Bowl. And I had sent out my resume and stuff to the training department to try to become a trainer. Well, that was February of 2020. In March, the pandemic happened. Boom. Shut down everything. People weren't flying. All the trainers were on furlough because there was no need for new agents to be trained because nobody was flying. So I left the airline industry in June of 2018. I took a remote job being a loan officer for the SBA, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And when things started to pick back up for the airline industry, I said, okay, this is my chance. I'm going to be a trainer. And so I was looking online at different training positions, and I found one. I applied for an airline to be a trainer, and that is currently what I do now. I work remote from my house. Sometimes our classes are in person, sometimes they're not, but I work remote from my house, teaching ticket counter, gate, baggage, the class about disability officers, and a station training coordinator as well. I teach all those classes, and I have to be honest and say I love my job. I do love it. I love teaching it. I love going into the different stations and knowing what I'm doing and helping out the different agents, the people that you get to know, you know, like my coworkers, the fact that it's remote, you know, I'm working from the comfort of my own home. My schedule is flexible because in addition to me, sometimes I teach, but sometimes I'll have what's called an office day where I just do like admin work. And on those days, I can use my benefits, I can travel, my manager will allow me to adjust my hours. My manager will allow me to work extra hours so that I don't have to use my vacation hours. And it's just been, you know, I get excellent flight benefits. It's a good job. Like, I have to really be honest and say I love my job. However, everything in the airline industry is seniority based, and it's just not enough for as far as the pay. And so not next week, but the week after, we will talk about my last goal, which is being financially stable. And deciding to take this job, where I did take a pay cut from when I was working for the SBA, played a big role in how I ended up homeless, carless, and broke, because I decided to try to change my financial situation, but I went about it the wrong way. So, to wrap up this video, I am in my career of choice, and that I've been, May of 2024 will make 3 years. So I was in my career of choice before I was 30, so I did accomplish that. However, I do wish that it paid more, but again, I'm in my career of choice. I love my job. I love the benefits. I love freaking airplanes. Like, I am in love with the airline industry, and I wouldn't change anything about it. But again, well, I guess I would change something about it. I would change the pay. So that is one thing that, without a shadow of a doubt, I accomplished that before I was 30. So stay tuned for next week, where I'm going to talk about my fourth goal, which was wanting a healthy relationship, and then I'll wrap this series up with my financially stable, which will tie it all together to explain what the hell happened. But anyways, again, please like, comment, share, subscribe. I am going to be doing Vlogtober. I'm really nervous about it, but I've already been daily vlogging to make sure that I am all set for Vlogtober. When I start posting the videos for Vlogtober, you guys will find out that I have a very busy month in October, and I think you'll enjoy my content. So, as always, have a good one. Love you guys.